Hi everybody, and welcome back to Holy Hammer Ironworks. My name is Harold. It's been a minute since I've been here on YouTube, but we're getting back to trying to make some YouTube videos. Not very good at editing. Every time I seem to sit down in front of a computer to learn, I glaze over like a donut. So anyhow, today I'm going to form up some roses, and these are your sheet metal roses. I'm sure you've seen them all. I hate to call them a sheet metal rose because I think there's a certain person by the name of Dorothy Stielgler who developed this technique, and if I'm wrong, leave a comment down below. But she started making these in the 1970s, mid-1970s, and she came up with this technique. Back then, she used to draw these out by hand, and she would cut them out with a henrob torch. Back then, you didn't have your nice little shop plasma cutters they have nowadays. So if you wanted to do it, you needed one of those, or you needed to chisel them out by hand, or maybe a bandsaw would do it for you too. So we're going to get started today. I already formed up some. These are the stems that I make. If you want to see a video on these, I did a short. You can find them on my Facebook Holy Hammer Ironworks page. It's a little short that kind of shows how I do them. And then also on my Holy Hammer Ironworks Facebook page, you can see I start out with these. I actually taken, in the past, I've taken and actually hammered these out and cross-peened each petal to put the textures in. And time consuming, but I like the look. I have really bad arthritis and carpal tunnel now, so I have to find a better way to do it. So I've been texturing these on the power hammer. I've got a die that will get in there, and I'll run them through that die. And after that, I take them into my fly press and have a cupping tool that'll just give you this basic shape. And that's a great place to start. After I do that, I'll take them over and I'll MIG weld them together. So I'll tack them together. You can see the bottom here. I'll start from the bottom and work my way out to the top. And I put a little bit of weld on the bottom here to give it that look of a rose. And then when I get started, I put them in the vise here. And I'll start from the center. As I put these together, I alternate the sections. So every time you have a petal, that'll end up in the center of another petal. And when I go to form these now, I'll start from the center. I'll cup them all up and I'll get a rosebud. After I get the rosebud, and I like to call it make them bloom, I'll open that rosebud up and make the flower bloom. And then when I'm done, I'll take a brass brush, and I usually clean them up with a brass brush. And I have a couple different patinas that I like to use on it. And just depending on what I'm going to use it in. As I use these as elements in a lot of work that I do, so they're all a little bit different. The tools that I'll be using are these long nose, bent nose, needle nose pliers, and also a set of scrolling tongs. Once in a while I might need a little screwdriver to get in there and pry up, or a little pry bar, but excuse me, most of the time I'm able to get it done with that. So let's get started. I probably could be using a little bit bigger tip, but this is the one I had on the last job that I was doing, so it'll work for now. I'm sorry, I don't know how well this is going to show up, but at least you'll get an idea on how this all goes. And I'm actually filming this all on my iPhone, and so from what I see, it doesn't. I can't see it very well, but maybe on a flat screen TV, it'll show up a lot better. I'm hoping. Someday, I hope to get to the point where I believe I'm just going to have somebody teach me how to do the editing, because trying to learn it on my own is kind of a frustrating task. Like I said before, Dorothy Stielgler, from what I know, and it's not a lot, but she developed this technique, and I was really fortunate to actually learn from her. I attended a Arizona Artists Blacksmiths Association demonstration in the late 1990s, and she was the lead demonstrator, where she actually demonstrated these. So I'm proud to say that I learned this from her, and I've over the years I've made hundreds of these. I actually, the blank that I showed you earlier, I have, usually it's 18 gauge, and usually I have a shop with a CNC plasma cutter, and I'll buy a sheet of hot rolled, and have them burn a whole sheet up. So I'll get a whole sheet burned up at one time, and then I stock them, and as I need them, I'll use them. So keep moving around here, and I'm working right now. I'm working in a clockwise motion as I roll these up, and when I go to make the rose bloom, I'll work counterclockwise. And some people that make these, they are very precise. I mean, they like to just get it perfect. And for me, in nature, I like to do a lot of organics in my work. And in nature, nothing's straight, nothing's perfect. And that's kind of how I like my work. My work that I do is all has a little roughness to it, and that's what I like. And things I forge, I like to see hammer marks. I like to see things that give the part texture and character. And so nothing I could make 5 of these, and all 5 will come out different. I once made a garden gate, and it was nothing but a vine. The frame was a vine, and I think I made, oh geez, at least 50 roses that were in it. It went on a school ground for a playground, and I really just liked the way that it came out. I took, and when I made that one, the patina I used was just a muriatic acid, and rusted it, and as it rusted, I would spray hydrogen peroxide on it, and to bring out different colors in the rust, yellows and reds. And when I got into a point where I liked it, I would stop it, wash it, and then once it was completely dry, I would use a product called Penetrol. And Penetrol is still around. Its original intent was to add to oil-based paints to remove the brush strokes, so you could get a smooth finish when you brushed it on. It's an excellent rust inhibitor, and it works really good over rust to seal it. And the beauty of it is it's a great outdoor finish. And the beauty of it is that after a couple years, when it starts to fade, you can go back and just wash the dust and dirt off of it, let it dry, and then you can use a garden sprayer. You could use an air compressor with a paint gun on it and add another coat on it, and it'll just bring it right back to life. It's wonderful stuff. I love it, and it lasts good outside. It's not like a clear sealer where it yellows. There's a clear ceramic coating out now that you can purchase. I think it's called Surtec maybe, and it supposedly works really good on rusted items and outdoor items as a finished coating. I've not used it yet. It's for me, it's cost prohibitive. If I had the project that I could use it on, I'd surely like to try it. I have a few friends that use it religiously on a lot of their stuff, and they swear by it. They swear it's really good. So you might want to try that. I've used clear sealer on these. I used to get a Krylon product, and you usually could find it. The way I like to find it was one that didn't have a steel ball bearing in it. It was just a pure mix, and it worked really well. But they discontinued it for reasons I don't know, but it was really good, and I used that for years. And after that, I experimented with quite a few different things, and I finally went to the Rust-Oleum product, Painter's Touch, which is a one coat primer and a seal and a paint, and they make it in a clear, and I really like to use that a lot on my products, my projects. In fact, I use that on many things now. Seems to work good, hold out good, and so. But here we're doing the last pedal now. Just rolled up here. So basically, we have our bud, all right? So now we have the bottom parts here. So I start down here, and I'll switch to the scrolling pliers. And you don't have to get these smoking hot. Just get a little color into them and give them a twist. So this morning, I live in the UP of Michigan. This morning when I came out to the shop, I live right on the Canadian border, and right on the St. Mary's River on the edge of Lake Superior. And this morning was 19 below, and it was cold. And so when I came out to the shop, I usually wait to get out to the shop when it's that cold. I don't come out till about 11 o'clock in the morning. In this shop, it's a 25 by 30 garage, about a little over 700 square feet, and it's as you can see, it's packed to the hilt with equipment. I have a couple little paths that go around the shop, and when I have a lot of people come over, I'll tell them you got to learn the Holy Hammer Shuffle. So if you come over and you hear the word shuffle, you got to step to the left, you got to step to the right, take a step forward, or just take a step back. And if you're doing all that, you're doing the Holy Hammer Shuffle. But anyhow, so we're going to go back now, and we're going to go counterclockwise this time, and we're going to make the rose bloom. And like I said, just be creative with it. There's no right way, there's no wrong way. It's just the way you see it in your mind's eye. How's your weather been in your area? Here, it's we've had a above average winter this year. It's February 8th today, and yesterday was our big Sioux I-500 snowmobile race. 500 miles on a 1 mile track, and everybody comes from everywhere for it. It's a huge event here in the city. It's a lot of fun to go see. But yesterday morning, the temperatures at race time at 10 a.m., it was, I believe, 7 below zero. No, I take that back. I think it was 1 degree below zero, but the wind chill was 31 degrees. It's up on top of a hill. And I'm telling you, it was cold. I like the cold. And the cold works for me, but there's at a certain point, you know, it's just cold. So, in the shop here this morning, I said it was 19 below zero. And this shop usually, very rarely, does it get below 15. And this morning it was 10 degrees in here. I don't have a dedicated heat source for this shop. Someday I wish I will. This year I've always heated with propane or a torpedo diesel heater, which the diesel heater works fantastic, but I don't like the smell. I don't care what they say, they all stink a little bit. And I use an infrared propane. And this year I bought one of those Vivor garden house heaters. I thought, hey, you know, I think this might work. So I tried it, and it might work good in the fall and the spring, but it really doesn't do much here. The air that comes out of it is 400, and I've checked it with my temp gun. It's between 450 and 600 degrees, and it helps keep my little work area warm, but it doesn't heat the shop up by any means. I wish I would have tried the diesel heater that Vivor makes, and maybe next year, if the money tree blossoms, I'll try one of those. This morning, I've got that going. I've got a propane heater, and I've got a little wood fire going over there in the forge. The wood heater, the fire in the forge usually works pretty good, but I went to fire it up this morning, and I got a hand crank blower, and I've got a power blower on it, and I went to fire up the power blower on it, and the motor smoked. I guess it didn't like 10 degrees. Too cold. It's too cold. And I find that a lot of my equipment in the shop, if it's below 20 degrees, it don't like it. My power hammer, my hydraulics, my bandsaw, all of these, they just don't like the cold. So I kind of limit myself. I work in the afternoons a lot. I'm retired, and honestly, I try not to work more than 4 hours a day. I do enough work in the shop here to keep me busy and put a little extra money in my pocket to supplement my Social Security check. But when the summer rolls around, I get a bit busier. This time of year, I do a lot of welding repair here, and this time of year, I get a lot of snow plow repair and parts that generally wear out in the winter. So we're almost done here, and this is where, you know, it gets a little bit, you know, oops. I like it. The more you brush it, the brassier it'll get. I use a dye patina, and sometimes I'll take that dye, I use dye chem, and either red layout dye or the red transparent dye. So I'll brush it up good like this, and I'll go back and I'll just cover the tips maybe in a red, and maybe I'll do the leaves with some green. Sometimes I've actually just waxed them and left them natural. I like that a lot too, but there's just it's your mind's eye which you can develop your own patinas what you like. But there you have it. There you go, a Dorothy Stielgler rose. I hope your day is good, and I hope you come back for more. Bye.